Good evening and welcome to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. My name's John Bruce. My co-host Matt Hoops is over in the chair. You can't see him. We have 3 cameras and it doesn't matter. He's not on any of them. So, and we have the Maynard family here in tonight. Kenley is a 3-sport plus cheerleading as well.
Yes.
Okay, so multi-sport athlete. Her parents, take her all over. Sounds like the Midwest to take care of everything. So, very important to, kind of what the Haynes Total Healthcare Center talks about with families and taking care of your body. So, I'll start with you, Kenley. How long have you been going to Dr. Haynes?
I've been going since I was like 4 or 5 years old.
And then playing constant sports, how much does that help you to be able to get checked out?
I get checked out pretty recently. I'll wake up and needing to go, and then I'll be able to play in my game or after school activities by that night.
So you mentioned with the family.
Yes.
How have you guys been there for years at that one, or is it?
Yeah. I basically started going there when I was pregnant with Kenley, and then I started going, then I got my older daughter involved, and then my son, and then Kenley, and then he was the last one.
I'm the touch me not.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that stands in the corner, looking around, saying, "What's happening here?" But they're just real professionals, I hats off to them because they've kept me, literally on my feet for, throwing backpacks around and, whether it's on the farm or, just the normal everyday life, riding on your zero turn and bouncing you around, no matter what it might be. Just you get inflamed, you have that typical back thing, and you can go up there and guarantee that, when you leave there, you're going to feel like you're walking on a cloud. It's
So
very helpful.
When was the first time you went?
Probably 5 years ago.
So how upset were you about 4 or 5 years ago when you were like, man, I should have been doing this for
Should have
years.
been doing it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleeping in them hotel beds and all that fun stuff. Yeah, I really was in misery. That's just the simple fact of it is it just got to where I'm going to try this because I've went to their appointments and I've watched them and it's watched them come out, but it's still just you just got to do it. If you're thinking about it, again, they're just professionals. Everybody there, they make you feel at home.
They've become good friends.
Yeah, good friends of ours. Yeah. So you literally feel like your family, friends and family while you're there.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about there is that I stopped going for a little while, and it was probably a year and a half. And I went in, and first thing they did was, "Hey, John, how are you doing?" And I know I'm on the schedule, but it was somebody that I'd talked to in previous times of being there, so it does make you feel like, and it's a welcoming atmosphere, and that's what you want when you are going to have your body worked on and in a variety of different ways. So we talked about it a little bit. What all have you done at the Haynes Total Healthcare Center?
I've done dry needling, cupping, the hydro bed, physical therapy there. Basically everything.
So
she's a rewards customer.
So how old were you when you did the dry needling for the first time?
I was probably in 7th grade, so I was probably 12, probably.
So
Something.
were you kind of freaked out for the first time?
Yeah, I was a little freaked out just for a needle going through your muscle and then shocking it, but it actually wasn't that bad. After you do it, you feel so much better, and then she'll rub you out too, which makes it even more better.
Have you guys done dry needling?
I have.
What was your first experience like?
Well, I was really nervous about going, but Cassie is one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
So
And she can sing.
Yeah, she can sing.
She put me at ease, and it really helped. I walked out of there feeling a lot better than when I walked in. So, and I had seen both of my girls have it done. So,
So you knew if they could do it, that you
Right.
could do it too. So, when you mentioned she could sing, did she sing at your guys' place last week?
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how did that go?
Good. She sings a lot of that 90s alternative type, Gin Blossoms and that kind of stuff that few of us in this room may have listened to when we were growing up.
Hey, I got the Sirius XM in my
Yeah,
car, and every
yeah.
once in a while, that's like I just go to that.
It's
'cause
a fun time.
Yeah,
She does
relaxing.
a good job.
Yeah. So, Cassie's one of the best. We had her on last week as well. So yeah, we really enjoy getting to work with her and talk to her as well. So, so you're in basketball right now.
Yes.
Basketball season. You guys are the 3 seed.
Yes.
How much fun has this season been overall? I know you're only a sophomore. You guys have a lot of really good juniors as well. Just how much fun has this season been for you?
It's been really fun. It's very their girls are very welcoming, and the coaches make sure we put in the work, but also have fun with it, and it's not always strict all the time.
Yeah, and with that, it's just you can get a lot out of kids, especially now, where it's you don't dread going to practice, and
Yeah.
that's a huge thing, because I know there were times where I dreaded practice. I dreaded it sometimes as a coach. So whenever you guys, how much fun have you guys had watching this year's team?
They're so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed it.
Everywhere. Yeah. And I think, the tournament, I think they're going to surprise some people. I mean, we're sitting at 3, so you have a high expectation, but, after the second round, I think we line up with Berg, so you got to be ready for that. No matter if they're the 25th seed, they're going to bring a game for you to play for sure.
It's Wheelersburg, and they are ready no matter what.
Ready,
So.
but we have all the faith in our guys back there at Piketon. They'll get the job done.
Yeah. So Piketon 3 seed. I believe the first game is it Wednesday? Wednesday. So they'll host a game on Wednesday. If they win, it'll be a game on Saturday. I know we'll have coverage of some sort there. We'll kind of see if it'll all be down at the Waverly Downtown Gym. So, we are in basketball mode right now. So, for our people watching, there's 6 girls district semifinals, Division 5 on Saturday at Waverly at the Downtown Gym, starting at 11 a.m. I said Bo Arnett needs a shout out for doing that. He's going to need to go to the Haynes Toll Healthcare Center. So that's a long day of any type of basketball, and then now a couple of them may not be that long, but they still got to go to the full 32. Right. So last year, when you were a freshman, you got to play on one of the best Piketon softball teams ever, and you guys reached the regionals last year, won a district title. As a freshman, how much fun was that to be a part of? And then, how much work did you guys put in?
We put in a lot of work to get there, and we had amazing coaches to help us there. And there was more of a family. They was very welcoming. As a freshman, it was really scary because it was all these upperclassmen, and you had to fight for your spot. But they wof very welcoming. They weren't mean or anything. So it was good.
So when you got your spot, because I know beginning of the year you didn't play as much as you did later. Yeah. How rewarding was it to get that spot after how hard you had to work to get there?
It was very rewarding, and the girls took it very good too. They wasn't mean about it or anything. It was you deserve that. You put in the work. So
yeah, and that's what's going to make that team even better, because a lot of sophomores and juniors this year, which means really high ceiling as well. Obviously, we're you want to go as far as you can go in basketball, but then softball is going to be really fun. So as parents, with how much you guys travel, and because she plays in Cincinnati as well, how rewarding is it to see your child have success at that level, and then just to have a team that is that close?
I mean, it's a very good experience. I mean, and they're, at the end of the day, they hang out outside of the field, the gym, whatever it may be.
You don't have one that just stands out and goes off, and does their thing. It's a large group of friends. They've played together since they were young. The parents are all close. It's the culture's right. You always think, how's the culture there? And it's that small town atmosphere. The moms and dads get involved in everything. They help take care of the team. You're taking kids wherever they need to go, but that's what it takes. We have a really good culture,
and that's huge across all sports. Is you want everyone to feel welcome, including a fish, right? So
yes,
can you talk about the fish a little bit?
The fish is still alive. When we traveled to Adena, it did take a fall out of its little like tank thing we had it in. We had to rush it onto the bus and get it some water because we was afraid it was gonna die. But it's still thriving. It's doing good.
That's all that matters.
Says a
Yes.
lot about that team,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Yes.
that you were able to, and that would be one of your biggest games of the year, and then you get to immediately have to resuscitate a fish.
Yes.
So that's
Well, we actually didn't even get to play that game.
No,
right?
it
Oh.
got rained out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think somebody
We-
slid down the bank. Is
Yeah,
that what it
Reese
was?
slid down the hill and dropped the fish. But
Oh, okay.
it's okay.
it's all right. Hey, sounds like you guys
She
did
recovered
Yeah,
quickly
she
there,
recovered-
right?
yes.
So what was the fish's name again?
Coke butter cheese.
Okay, so is that a team name? You guess.
I don't know. It just kind of came upon it. I don't know how we got the name. It just kind of like, oh, let's name it this. And everyone was like, okay, yeah. So,
Okay, so that's a big responsibility to be able to raise
a fish alive.
keep any fish alive, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially a smaller fish, because you guys take it to every game.
yes, we do.
Okay, so yeah, so look for the fish this spring during
Fish.
as Piketon's hitting bombs. You can see
Yeah.
you can see the fish a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Train
and the
horn,
train
yeah.
horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Jericho's
like-
train horn.
I was thinking about this a little bit more. Me and Shane Combs were talking on our overtime show today about how volleyball's a fast rising sport and basketball kind of isn't at the same time. But it just feels like volleyball, softball have similar kind of cultures of like you're having fun, and it's
Yeah.
you don't you play pretty carefree, and because of that, it ends up being more fun. You have a
Right.
better chance for success. Is that something you've noticed? Even though you guys, it sounds like have a really good culture in basketball too.
Yeah. Softball is definitely by far the funnest sport at Piketon. Just because we take it seriously, but there's also times that we just have fun, and I feel like if we have more fun, then we do better.
Yeah, and it's a more relaxing atmosphere. Like when you, I know, just looking at our interview after the district final, I think some of the girls had tattoos. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
They all did.
Yes.
yeah. So
Lots of
I think everyone did.
Yeah, everyone on the team.
yeah. So
And a lot of people thought they were real. Like, we went out to
Yeah.
eat afterwards, and
Had
people
to
were
have that
like,
intimidation factor.
it was
Yeah.
funny because a lot of people were like coming up to us and, oh, I thought those were real. And so they looked pretty neat.
So it sounds like if you haven't seen the Piketon softball team, you need to go out and watch them because it sounds like they're
Better get there early too,
Yes.
because
Yes.
everybody's coming out. I mean,
Yeah.
the word's traveling and high expectations. Yeah,
And-
come on out and watch a game.
yeah. We'll definitely have a couple girls back in here in the spring as well. So, but just to kind of go back to the Haynesville Healthcare Center, when you mentioned you go in sometimes in the day of games, how nice is it to be able to go in there and go in and just know you're going to feel better afterwards?
It's really nice actually because as soon as you walk in, he'll greet you and then he'll be like, "Well, what are you having pain with?" And normally it's my lower back, and then he'll like push on it, and then he'll be like this spot or this spot hurts worse, and then as soon as he like pops it or whatever, it feels so like instantly so much better.
Yeah, and then so when you feel better, then you feel more confident
Yes.
going into the game, and then you don't even worry about it. So, as parents, so where all have you guys had to travel for her softball?
All around, I mean, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, just, basically around surrounding states of Ohio. As they get older, they tend to stay in the Columbus area for the showcases at Berliner. This year's schedule is we go to Indianapolis, and we're in West Virginia, and is it Elizabethtown? And then the other 4 or
is really
5
nice.
or however many are in Columbus
Okay.
area.
So how nice is it to have the Haynesville Healthcare Center for after those trips, after you're taking luggage and bags all
Spent
over?
3 days in a hotel
Yeah.
bed.
Very good.
Yeah. It's nice to know, when you get back Monday, Tuesday, you can get realigned.
Usually we'll go ahead and have an appointment ahead of time
Yeah.
during those times
And that's the
because we
thing
know
too.
we'll need them.
Even if that's not it, just like this week or something, and she has an event, it's a Thursday, Friday, or maybe even Friday into Saturday, you can pick up the phone on Saturday mornings. Brandon's in there, the staff's in there, like, especially for athletes, maybe not me, but if she calls up there and says, hey, we had a game and I had this injury, bam, she's on her way up there. Just come on up without an appointment. They take good care of you.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
So with the tournament coming up, softball coming up, how much value will you have in making sure you take care of your body through like the Haynes Healthcare Center?
I'll probably start going like once or twice a week just to make sure my body stays good. And then whenever my body stays good, I play better, I practice better, and I don't have to worry about in pain or taking ibuprofen all the time.
Yeah, when you feel better, you play better.
Yes.
And I think that kind of goes along the lines of everything. It's kind of, what is that? You look good, you play good.
Yeah.
Now, you feel good, you play
Right.
even better. So, especially in a sport where it's so physical like softball, and it's a repeated motion as well. So,
Just that maintenance, just,
Yeah.
knowing that don't wait till you're hurting to go up, right? Once you're feeling better, keep on that cycle. And I know when our son goes up, Brandon see him in the hallway or Michelle can see him in the hallway, like, well, he's walking fun. You don't even have to be in pain, and they know, like, this is what's going on. So just that in the back of your mind, like, don't wait till you're, hurting so bad. If it's something you just have a little ache, a little pain, discomfort, traveling for hours, no matter what it is, get up there and get it.
yeah, I walked into my dad's house the other day. He was like, "Oh, you're not feeling very good, are you?" I was like, "I didn't even realize it." But yeah, so
Walking stiff.
Yeah, I'll be calling there to get in this week. So, well, we appreciate you guys coming in.
Yep.
Did you guys have a good time? Yeah. So hopefully we'll see you guys in the dugout soon and
we'll
everything.
spread the word on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be seeing it throughout the rest of basketball season and then in softball season as well. So hang right with us. We'll have a short break. You are watching the Haynes Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news. Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
right, welcome back to the Hainstall Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. I'm John Bruce, along with Matt Hoops, actually on camera this time.
Made my way over.
Yeah, made his way over. And then we now have Huntington head girls coach Kyle Uhrig in between us. And sorry that we didn't have the last 5 minutes recording, because that was good. Because my first coaching job in basketball was freshman coach at Westfall.
All of us. None of us had all this grade, though.
No.
Yeah,
No.
definitely didn't have the grade.
That was
but that was,
way
that was a
It
good,
might
that
have
was a
been,
good
might
time.
have been because we weren't winning.
No, that's what caused the grade.
Yeah.
Mine, at least.
Yeah.
I was up there on Thursday night, and I was thinking a little bit about that when we were up there. The gym's changed a little bit, but still a lot of memories.
Still shots hit at the buzzer.
Yeah, still definitely shots hit at the buzzer. Which
Who was that team that beat us at the buzzer? That we shouldn't have lost.
Man,
to?
we had several close ones that year. Really, really close.
I
ones.
can't remember.
But yeah, that was a fun year though. We were super competitive that year, but we did lose a lot of close basketball games. I don't know if that's coaching.
It
or
was
what,
coaching.
Well, I can tell
First
you.
year coaching, that's what it was.
I can tell you one game was Coach Miller at Piketon. Like, we were like tight with them, and then he had like 18 straight points in the fourth quarter, and like it was like literally nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, I do remember that too. Yep.
Yeah.
I erased that one.
So, Coach Uhrig in here, you longtime coach, Southeastern boys, right? And then Huntington girls. Are those your two varsity stops?
Those are my two stops. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you spent some time up in Circleville doing some other stuff as well, and then obviously Westfall. And we've always enjoyed our conversations. Can you tell us a little bit about your season? I know the last few games have been a little more successful.
Yeah, it's kind of been a weird season a little bit. I mean, we went through some ups and downs. Started the year, back and forth with some wins, with some losses, and then I think we won 4 or 5 in a row there in the middle stretch, and then kind of late in the season, after about that 10-game mark, we had lost 5 or 6 in a row and was reeling a little bit. Again, close games. I mean, we had, outside of the second Unioto game, I don't think we've been really blown out or not been in a game all year. I mean, we've been super competitive. But then, last 6 games, we've won 5 out of the last 6. Had a really weird, finish as far as scheduling this last week. We played 3 league games in a row. You don't see that done very often. And 2 of them, of course, on the road. Went to Adena, got a really good win out there Wednesday night. Went up Thursday and got beat by 1 at Westfall. I think that was one of the references there to the last second shot. Got Brayley Houseworth hits a 3-quarter court shot to end up we ended up losing by 1.
You covered at least.
Yeah, we covered. And then of course had Zane Trace at our place, boys and girls night, which was a really good night for our league. A lot of people, very, very packed stands, and a good night for basketball out there. And we were able to come out with a win there. So, a solid season. I think we were looking at it the other day. We split with everybody in the league with the exception of Piketon and Unioto, who are obviously the 2 best teams in the league, and then we literally split with the other 5 teams. So very competitive league this year, and it was fun to coach in.
Yeah, when you get a competitive league like that, how much, you mentioned it being fun, but how much fun is it to when you have those other players? Like, obviously Miley is really talented, Marley Halcomb really talented, Layla Kelly really talented from Piketon. How much fun is it as a coach to get to challenge yourself and to like try to figure out ways to slow down players like that?
Yeah, and as a coach, I mean that's always the fun part. I just left a staff meeting out. Actually, we were out in the barn out in Huntington trying to figure out how in the world we're gonna stop Alexander on Wednesday night, because of course that's a tough ask too. But yeah, our league's stocked full of great players. Every night you go out, you got somebody, just like Friday night, Zane Trace with Emma Houston does a nice job getting the basket. She can stretch you because she's over 6 foot tall and can handle the basketball. And so no matter who you're playing against, Doug with his 2 giants down there, and then of course Brown's a nice player. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered the gamut here. That every night you got to find a way. And I think the unique thing about this year was we just had players that were across our league. You had some size on some teams, you had some guard play on other teams that you were trying to stop. So definitely the teams were not as similar, I guess I would say, this year as some years where you got good guard play on the top 3 or 4 teams, and that's all you're really trying to stop. We have good post play in this league, had good guard play. So every night was a little bit different. So made it really fun.
Who would you say your first round opponent is as similar to someone in our league?
Their guard play, and I'm going to say this, and their guard play is a lot like Piketon's. I mean, they have two really good guards that have played since they were freshmen. One of them's a senior, one of them's a junior. They're both probably averaging. One of them's averaging 16, 17, 18 points a game, and then the Hudnall girl that's Ryder, and then the Hudnall girl probably averages well over 10 points a game. Both can handle it. Can't really get up in them and pressure them. Just doesn't bother them. Got some decent post players too, a little bit of decent size that they can guard us with a little bit. So challenges us on the offensive end for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think they're they're very, I would say Piketon-esque. I think they would match up well with them. So again, it's going to be a challenge. We went down there and played them earlier in the year. We were looking at it just yesterday when we brought the girls in. We've played them like 6 times in the last 5 years.
I was going to say, I remember last year you had a big win over them, right?
Yeah, we got a big win at our place against them last year in the regular season, and then got beat in a tournament by them down in the district semifinal. And they jumped out on us really quick down there. I think it was like 18-2, and then we battled all the way back. That's the game Allie Baker had 31 points in the second half, and brought us back and got it cut to 2 with less than a minute to go and had a chance to win the game. But yeah, we've had our battles with them. Went down there this year, and they beat us by 8. I think it ended up 42-34, kind of a low scoring game, which is kind of common for us, kind of odd for them a little bit. So again, that's something else we're going to have to do when we go down there Wednesday. We're going to have to play good defense and try to keep them under 40 points and give ourselves a chance to win.
I mean, I guess the good thing is you guys, you obviously have played them couple times. You did play there this year, so it's not, it's a familiar place that you're walking into. So that always helps, I think.
Yeah, we batted it back and forth. As you're watching that RPI. Everybody is. It's way different than when I was coaching with you guys at Westfall, where you're trying to garner votes and everything else, and trying to figure out what the draw is going to look like. You get to watch it unfold all year. And early we never thought there would be a chance of playing them in the tournament again. And then as we got closer to the end of the year, we're like, man, do we really want to play them again? And then, you go back and forth mentally of whether you want to go all the way back down there and play them again, or do you want some fresh blood? But again, I do think there are some advantages. Scouting wise, we know what they want to do. Of course, they know what we want to do.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's some advantages. And with us playing those 3 games last week, I think it is going to help us a little bit preparation wise, with only having a couple days here to get ready to go.
I mean, I think mentally is one of the things when you go into a tournament is you want your team to be mentally, I don't want to say, I guess comfortable is the right word. You know what I mean? And they know that they're that close to a really good team on the road. Few things go your way, maybe you win that game. So I think it's an advantage for you guys. I really do. Even though, like you said, they know what you want to do, but having played them, and I know you have them ready to go. So I think I'm looking forward to seeing how that ends up.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think we went down there. We did not play our best basketball game. I don't think they played their best basketball game either. So I will give them that caveat, because they're a very good basketball team. But Tori got in foul trouble down there. Braley struggled putting the basketball in the hole around the rim, and I'm only saying that live here because we talked about this yesterday when shoot around it. Like, listen, these are the things that we got to go down there and do better, and I think our kids are up for the task. I mean, I do think like he said, it's a familiar opponent, but also I think there's going to be a comfort level there of knowing that, hey, we've been super competitive with this team over the last 4 or 5 years, and again, you got to go down there and win the basketball game. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to do more right than they do, and give ourselves a chance to win.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for, is that chance to win late in the game, especially on the road when you go down. Pretty cool atmosphere down there as well. I got to see them play Logan Elm, and when you said Piketon, that was my first thought, was Piketon. Very similar to how the Piketon plays, and the good guard play, and it should be an interesting matchup for you guys. When you mentioned the RPI, how would you feel? Like, I know it's how it is, but how would you feel about having the opportunity to pick where you go, as opposed to just hey, you're the 16, this is who you play? Yeah,
and that's been a discussion around here in the Southeast District since I've been a little kid. We were talking about this at the meeting the other day, the all district meeting, and back when my dad was on the district board, this was always a conversation. I think a lot of those old timers, and I'll call them old timers, including my dad, they loved the fact that the Southeast District did it different, that this is the way it was, that but the longer we've went, I think it's something that really needs to be looked at. I think there's some advantage. There needs to be more advantages for those teams that are locking themselves into those 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds as far as being able to pick. And right now, the only thing they really get to decide is what number they want to have if they win the district, so where they're going at in the regional. And I think putting yourself on the board like every other district does is probably something that we definitely need to look at. I know our coaches association definitely wants that to be looked at, and I know there's reasons. Our district is big. It's travel is very tough. I understand. I lived with a guy that used to talk about it constantly. So I understand both sides of it, but I think at some point we can find a happy medium. It's kind of like what we're doing with this RPI. Every year they're kind of adjusting it a little bit to figure out what those percentages out on the end need to be as far as who you're playing, and then also looking at what divisions you're playing. I think has got to play a role. So I think we're going to be able to play around with it. But yes, I do think there's some things that we can look at.
I can remember a couple years ago, and when you said how big the district is, and they went to the home games for the first couple rounds, and I can remember our first game we drove by the convo. I'm like, hey guys, this is where we're supposed to end up. We're not supposed to drive by this to get to our first round game, which was Marietta. You know what I mean? So, there's all kinds of different arguments. You can say, okay, travel's an issue. This is why we're going to keep it this way. And then until you put yourself in that spot where I thought travel was the issue, and you're driving it,
Right.
So it's just, I think, like you said, I think every year it seems like things change a little bit more. And I think eventually that'll end up happening.
Yeah,
I really do.
I do too, because if you look further down, I think Peebles is at Belpre. That doesn't do anything for travel. Yeah. That's so where Peebles could maybe be like, well, we'd rather not go there. We'll take, maybe we play the 6 instead of the 7,
but it's a little bit closer.
Yeah, and I think they can't control travel as much now. I mean, we got 25. For instance, let's take the
25 teams in
Division 5 girls. You got 25 teams, and they could have ended up in any order. You got Zane Trace going all the way to Chesapeake. We're going all the way to Alexander. I mean, there's a ton of travel right now. So I don't really think that argument is going to help much anymore. And I think, like I said, you've got to be able to give the teams that play the best during the regular season, you got to try to give them some advantages. And again, I know playing home games is an advantage, but also being able to throw yourself on the board and kind of, or be able to pass and come back and play who you want to play or get where you want to get in that bracket is a big key. So yeah, I'm with Matt. I think eventually that it's going to happen. It may be down the road a little bit, but I think it will. It will.
One of the things, and you talk about advantages for the 1, 2, and 3 seed. I'm looking at the D4 boys 1, 2, or 3 seed. There's an advantage there. They just woke up and ended up in the convo.
Right.
There used to be a lot of blood spilled to try to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's. I think that's. I still have a hard time wrapping my head around that.
That's two things that you don't want to get me on, because I really have a hard time with that, and then I have a hard time with getting rid of the sectionals.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like you got so many teams that work so hard all year to try to battle for what used to be. And I told you guys last year when we were doing this that we won that game last year. We went cut the nets down. Forget it. We're going to still look at it the same way.
Well, it's such a tradition that so many teams have done and celebrated over the years. And honestly, the further away we get from it, the less it's going to be an impact. But a lot of those kids remember watching players that they wanted to be like do that and celebrate that. So,
it was like for us, it was going down to Waverly and watching that D3 battle down there every year and watching some of the upsets and some of the games that, that you had. And it, you got to stand there and watch them cut the nets down when it was finished. I just think we're losing a little bit of that. I don't mind the 7 divisions, but I feel like we got to figure out a way, to bring some of that back, to give some teams something to play for late in the year, because right now you're just playing for a district title, and some of these teams, I hate to say this, but you look at the bracket in D5, everybody's trying to stay away from Portsmouth and Fairland. Let's make no joke about it. If every coach was in here, they would tell you that. There's not a whole lot to play for when you start looking at that. If you're in their bracket, you feel bad for those teams, but they could have won a sectional title to get to
Right.
play Portsmouth or Fairland, and now we don't have that opportunity. So I think there's got to be something where we can look at that, try to bring that back a little bit. But again, I don't fault the Southeast District for that. That's a state, state thing that we're dealing with right now that needs to be addressed, I feel like.
I completely agree with that. So let's bounce for our last thing here. Something more fun. What made you want to get into coaching? I didn't even talk about this before. So what kind of made you get into coaching?
I mean, in all honesty, it's the same thing that made me want to get into education. Obviously, you want to be around student athletes, and you want to try to make them better. That's the main goal as a coach, and not just as a basketball player, but as a person. I've been thinking a lot about that. We trying to take a kid where he's at and get him to where they need to be, and that's one thing I will say about my team this year is I feel like not only just at a basketball level, but definitely at a personal level, I feel like our kids have grown up. You get to watch those kids as junior high kids come all the way through your program, and this is year 5 for me. So, these kids were in 7th or 8th grade when I first started, and to watch them grow up. And we had senior night on Friday, and my 4 seniors, watching them grow over time has been an experience, and I think through our program that they have grown as individuals and as basketball players. So, and that's all you can ask for. I think that's why you do it, and the camaraderie with your players, with your coaches, just like you guys talking about. We can sit here and tell stories for days about all the stuff that we did those couple years at Westfall and how much fun it was. And again, it's just those are the things that you're hoping, and that's what I hope for my own kids. That they have an experience where I don't care if they go play college basketball or they go play whatever, as long as they have that experience with some friends and some good coaches that are going to teach them some life lessons and that they're going to be better for it. That's all we're really asking. At least. Chelsea and I talk a lot about that. That's what we want for our kids, is just to have a good experience. Whether it be, you want them to win, and winning's part of that, but you also want them to have a good experience. So, that's what we're trying to create out there, and hopefully the last 5 years we've been able to do that for our kids.
Yeah, I think you said it, hit the nail on the head. That's the memories and the friendships, and even as I guess I'm old. You revisit some of these teams that you've had and celebrate different milestones with them. And when you get together with those groups of guys, you don't hear them talking about individual awards. You don't hear them talking. A lot of times you don't even really hear them talking about championships. You hear them talking about, the things that they did in the locker room, I don't know, on the bus, things like that. Just all of the fun things that they did because they were a part of a team. And those are, and then you watch them go be successful human beings in life. There's I tell them all the time, that's bigger than any wins we ever had.
Oh, absolutely.
It really is. It's just something that it's really cool to see, when you see them get married, have kids, all that stuff. It's just like, wow, that's really cool. They're doing it the right way. And
it's funny you say that because, our first group that's kind of, that went through, we got a couple of them that have gotten married, one of them that's having a baby. It's like he's saying, seeing those things, watching, Brooklyn and Tori and those guys the other night and interacting, those seniors with Taylor and Araya Smith are the 4 seniors we have, watching those guys interact, but then also watching them interact with Lydia and Brayley and all the kids that we have, and Lily, and watching them interact in the locker room after a big win against St. Trace on senior night that the kids really wanted to get. That at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, and you hope that those kids have enjoyed their time as a part of the program, and that they'll look back and it's fond memories of something that they were able to accomplish, but also some things they were able to learn along the way.
Yep, it's friendships that you'll never forget. That's the biggest thing, and then memories that you will always have as well. So, Coach, we appreciate you coming in. Obviously, we talked a little bit of memories with us because, what was that, 20 years?
It's been a while. I was at
2005.
Yeah, it's been over 20 years.
Yeah.
I was at Southeastern for 7.
I know you'll remember the time that we were driving to Peoples to scout what happened to that squirrel that we encountered in the middle of the road.
I remember that. I remember that very well. I can remember going to Michigan State and watching football games.
I may or may not have hit a squirrel, and first thing Kyle said was, "You think that was a blocker charge?" I said, "He took it, man.
It was
he stood in and took
it. Yeah, he did stand in and take it." So several scouting trips. And, all the camps down at OU. We've
Oh,
ran
man.
the gamut. We've had a good time. Good time.
I got to go down because Nuke was about to be born
Yeah,
after I
so-
got my wisdom teeth out.
Were you?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah.
Kyle picked me up, and
Yeah. So
Everybody was on call that night.
Yeah. We've had some good times.
Oh
some,
man, now he's 20.
some kids had.
in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah. It's
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
But
so-
no, I appreciate it, guys. It's been good. Glad to come in here and kind of reminisce with you.
we appreciate you, Coach, and we'll definitely keep in touch and everything. So, best luck to your team this week and moving forward as well.
Appreciate it.
Just hang right with us. We'll be right back with more of the Haynes-Toll Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Welcome back to the Haynesville Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority. Now we want to welcome in Coach Ethan Leist from Eastern Pike. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Common mistake, John. It happens all the time around here.
Well, at least it was your brother, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
and he's coaching with me this year, so it's even worse.
There you go. So yeah, we got a little behind, so we're just trying to make up some time, and then I call you by the wrong name. So at least you didn't take it as an insult. So we
absolutely not.
We appreciate you, Coach.
It's great to be back with you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate having you on. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Just got done working out. I was watching the NBA All-Star game earlier. It's much more competitive this year. It was actually really enjoyable to watch. So that's been my evening tonight.
Well, that helps. We got to watch that last quarter, and it didn't seem to be as competitive. But I
missed that one.
Yeah, I don't know if you missed it so much. So, but it's good to hear though, because like to me, that's one of the ways to get people into watching basketball, the NBA again, is to make the All-Star game more fun. So that's good to hear.
Yep.
So now up to 12-7 on the season. Is that correct, Coach?
Yes.
Yep. So can you kind of tell us a little bit about what's been going on as of late? Because it seems like you guys are starting to really play your best basketball right now.
Yeah, I talked to you guys a couple times this year, and it's been kind of cool to like see our progression throughout the season. I think one of the times I talked to you, we were like 2-4 or something like that. We started out the season 2-5, and in our last 12 games, I think we're 10-2. We've just like I've already talked to you guys about it before, but it's just been like trying to figure out our identity as a team. We just kind of have like a unique group of guys, different pieces that we've had put together with the 3 or 4 that we had coming back from last year. So it's just been really cool to like get to know these guys. Some of the guys that we have back, even the ones that started for us last year on a district championship team, like they weren't really our main voices in the locker room. So to like have those guys have to step up and kind of be leaders now, to add some senior leadership and guys that like had never played varsity before. It's been really cool, like on and off the court. I think early on, we pretty much figured out that our identity was going to have to be like on the defensive end of the floor. And I've talked to you guys about that before. It's kind of what we've figured out that we have to hang our hats on. Throughout the course of the season, we are shooting 37.8% from the field as a team. So we have to hang our hat on something else, which is, we're giving up 46.5 points a game right now, which if we keep this up, we're on pace to set a school record. So that's kind of like what our guys have embraced and started to take pride in. And the last couple games over this weekend, we played Sims Valley and Southeastern at home, and we actually shot the ball really well in both of those games. Is the best we've shot all year. So to have the defensive effort, and now like our offense is starting to click and come along a little bit, it just kind of feels like we're starting to peak at the right time, which I know is kind of the cliche, but that's really what we hoped for.
Coach, that's a great point. And I think, I don't know. I feel like probably 99% of the coaches always, you want to have a defensive identity. You want to make that a priority and emphasis because let's face it, not a lot of kids are really excited to do that a lot of times. So as a coach, you got to make that a priority on that end of the floor. It sounds like you've done that. But then once, their offense, and let's face it, man, it's a long season and kids take a while to get going and get comfortable. And once they do, and you've already got that established on the defensive end, you add that to some offense now that's come along maybe out of nowhere. Now you become a really good team and a really dangerous team at tournament time.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly what we hope for. We have like 3 or 4 things that we really key on all the time. Like we keep it in practice, and obviously we start it in games. One of them is often, I've talked about it before. I know you guys have heard this a lot, but I just keep going back to it because it really works. Offensive rebounding percentage, ours is over 40 for the season, which is good. Our goal going in each game is to go 40% offensive rebound percentage. And then our goal is 75% defensive rebounding percentage, which is a pretty high mark. And I think we're at like 67 right now in the season. So just like really stressing to these guys how important it is to clean up on the glass on both ends of the floor. When you're fighting for more possessions, when you have trouble shooting at times, and it's not that we don't have guys that can score. We do. It's just we kind of tend to go through stretches where we struggle offensively a little bit. So you're just trying to get as many possessions back as you can on the glass, and that's what we've chosen to focus on. and it's really worked out pretty well for us so far. But like you said, we talked about it last time, as you get into like late January, early February, I always think like Valentine's Day is about the point where you want to try to start peaking. And we've really spent a lot of time just shooting in practice. I think you spend a lot of time teaching early and just like, defensive principles, rebounding, those type of things, X's and O's. We really stress a lot of that stuff early, but then late in the season, we kind of feel like we've got a lot of that stuff. Not that we don't still work on it, but really it's just a lot of shooting, a lot of muscle memory type stuff, because you just hope that eventually it's going to pay off. And I think with this group, like, you guys know this, having coached both of you, like, confidence is so important. And I feel like when they start to see it go in, it just makes all the world of difference.
Well, and it's, you said it perfectly. It's when it starts to, really set in, and you get closer and closer to tournament time, and guys get more confidence. Well, then that lifts up all parts of your game as well. But I really like that you keep track of those rebounding percentages, because that can be something that you just go into film work and be like, hey, pull down 41% offense rebounds. And I bet those guys just love seeing that. And it's one of those things where maybe not everything is like quantifiable, but that's one of those things that you don't realize during the game. Like, it's, when people have points, when you guys are playing and Boston's got like 15 points in the first half, Boston's got 15 points, but maybe it's because Eric pulled down 6 offensive rebounds and kicked out to him. But you maybe don't realize it. Yeah. And I think that's something really cool for the whole team.
You're exactly right. And, I think that I'm not a 100% analytical guy, but I'm a big fan of analytics when they motivate. And I think that's one that really motivates them, because, and let's face it, like, we struggled early in the year with results. We were playing tough teams and we were playing them close, but when the results aren't there, you have to find something. And that's really what we had to shift their focus a little bit from scoring. Oh, we're not shooting well. It's frustrating. Okay, here are the things that we can control. And the reason why I pick those things, like, we always write up on the board goals. Each team, it's a little bit different. Each opponent, we have a certain number that we want to hold them under. We want to, shoot for that 75% defensive rebounding, 40% offensive rebounding. And then we call it turkeys. Some people call it kills, 3 straight stops. We want to try to get 10 of those, which is hard to do. But it's like, if you can lock in on those 3 or 4 things, I liken it to, like, when you play baseball when you're young and you're a pitcher. For me, pitching is all about mechanics. And when I pitched, there was always like 3 things that I had to try to remember when I was on the mound. Okay, push off my back foot, make sure I extend, come all the way around with the glove hand. Like, those are the things that I would always think about. So for us, it's like, okay, we're just going to keep it simple. We know our offense at this point. We know who we want shooting the ball, when and where. Okay, let's just really key on these things. And we don't always do it perfectly, but I feel like we've started to get to a point where we really are locked in on those things, to where they're asking me at halftime, like, where are we at, coach? How many turkeys we got? And I think when you can shift, especially when you have a team that's not like, we're not really known for our offensive firepower, it can just kind of make you dangerous whenever that's like everyone's on the same page with that stuff. So that's who we want to be. And I think that we're starting to, really buy into that identity.
Yeah, and it's I know that was one of the things, Coach Hoops, you always kept track of were the kills.
Yeah.
And, that's one of those things, kids, you can kind of see it as the game gets further and further. When your defense is starting to lock down guys, you can see when they get the 3 straight, the bench will kind of get into it as well, especially if you're playing a little further down into the bench. So I really like those motivating factors, and it seems like it's really paying off for you guys here late in the season as well. So what do you guys have coming up this week?
So it's really interesting the way that things have worked out with the snow and everything. We're supposed to be done with our regular season on Friday. We played Southeastern Saturday. All of the following games I'm about to mention to you have been pushed back due to like snow. So we played Southeastern last night. Tuesday we go to Ironton St. Joe. Wednesday we go to South Gallia, and Saturday we go to Western. Right now, and that's it for regular season. Right now we're tied with Northwest at the top of our league. So like, these games are super crucial. All of them are. So it's kind of like, it's an
like
interesting situation.
Early.
I look at it as a good thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good thing, because now we can start to prepare for what, I want to win the league. I mean, that's something that obviously is a goal for everybody. But I've just always been taught my whole life that, you're always preparing for the tournament. Everything is an opportunity to prepare for the tournament. So I think that, all of this is probably going to be good for us.
Yeah, and it's just you get to play. Try to go 1-0 every night, and you do so. I know Coach Hoops loves that, but you do so. You're going to win the league, and you're going to be feeling really good going into the tournament time as well. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time with us and hanging with us for a little bit. I knew we were on a little later, but we appreciate you very much, and best of luck to you this week.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Enjoy it's the best time of the year for a basketball fan.
Yes,
so
it
enjoy
is.
It.
Good luck,
Great
Coach.
talking to you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank
We'll
you
talk
guys.
to you soon.
See you. All right.
You made great points.
Yeah.
Like, you keep it simple. You do things that your team's going to do well. And I think kids need to see results like he talked about, especially they number wise, but something they can see concrete. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, and it's for a school that's getting better and better at football, he's still bringing positive results on the basketball side, which is what they've kind of always been as well. So, speaking of a coach who's done well at a football school right now, joining us now on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline is Coach Max Morrow from Jackson. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing well. Thank you for hanging with us a little bit later than what we had talked about, but we appreciate it. And congratulations. Now the all-time winningest coach at Jackson. I have a feeling I know what you're going to say on that, but how did that feel? And then how much fun was that to be able to celebrate that with your team?
Well, first off, I appreciate the kind words and thank you. Yeah, I mean, it felt great with our team, but at the end of the day, it was about winning that game and trying to secure the 2 seed in the district in D3. And I was proud of our guys. Obviously Chillicothe beat us earlier this year, and we got to return the favor, and they're not an easy out by any means, especially on their senior night. So no, but just as far as winning games at Jackson, it means the world to me. Something I love doing. I mean, all of us coaches, let's be honest, we love doing what we do, or we wouldn't do it, because we spend way too much time away from our family, to do this job. But it just means more, in my hometown, and doing something that I absolutely love with a program that I've loved since I was a little kid, being a ball boy to a player, and following my dad around the gym as he's broadcasting games when I'm a grade school, elementary school kid, and now getting to actually coach the Jackson Ironman basketball program. It's just something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I was happy for you, happy to see it, and I know how much more it meant with the game that it came in. Anytime you can win big games, and then that's just, I guess, the icing on the cake or whatever. But just, it takes a lot of time. I know it does, and I know you do it the right way. And I really think that, you've built that program into what it is with all of the circumstances that surround it. Because let's face it, Jackson football and Jackson baseball is no joke either. And now Jackson basketball is definitely, mentioned with those guys. And I think, it's taken a while, but you've stuck with it. And, everything you do for those guys and a lot of the teams around there with your summer league that you host, it's just you got great facilities, and I think you use everything and take advantage of that stuff.
Yeah, well, we do, and I appreciate that, and it does. It means a lot just for the program, for the community, just getting for myself to be a part of it. But you're spot on with our baseball and football programs have been great for many years. Obviously, as somebody in town that's a basketball guy, and I would say I'm in the minority in Jackson as far as basketball first guys, but a lot of my friends are football first, baseball first, growing up with those guys, and that's okay. But those programs have definitely had more success in the longevity. So when you look back in the history books, Jackson basketball hasn't been a powerhouse by any means, but I was fortunate enough to play under a great coach. Our school system gave a young guy in Dustin Ford a chance many years ago, right out of college at Ohio University. And, he had some success there for a few years before he went on to bigger and better things at the college level. And then, I just wanted to become a teacher and knew that I loved basketball and wanted to stay around it and be part of it. And I just thank our administration and Superintendent Phil Howard for letting me do something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's, when you get to do it at home, like you said, and you get to play for a really good coach, it just helps it mean a little bit more. So just can you talk about that game a little bit, the big win over Chillicothe, kind of what kind of came together for you guys on that night to be able to pull that win out?
Well, honestly, anybody that watched that game live knew it. It was an ugly offensive game. I would say Coach Beard would say the same thing. Neither team got in a real good rhythm offensively, but I would like to also think that both of those teams are pretty good defensively. Chillicothe really has, really gives you problems, and anybody with their length they have. It's hard to get a clean look, perimeter or inside, with all the length and athleticism they provide on the defensive end. But our guys, it wasn't easy. We had a lot of turnovers early. They just found a way to grit it out. And this group of seniors, I've talked about them so much, but they find ways to win even in times that they really probably shouldn't. Things get going bad, and it really doesn't have a good feel to a game, but they're always hanging around there because we tell them each and every day, defense travels. If you will commit to the defensive end, at some point we're gonna find a way to throw in a bucket or two. And they just hung around all night and found a way against a very good Chillicothe team to put a few stops together and make a few field goals in the fourth quarter. And that's kind of how we came on the winning side of that one.
Yeah, I would say that, I've watched Chillicothe a few times, and I would say here of late, man, they've been playing really, really well. I watched, who did they play in your classic? Wheelersburg? And I thought, my goodness.
Played really well there.
Yeah, they just, they made it so difficult for Wheelersburg, and just, I just felt like that their defense just really jumped out that game and contributed to easy offense. And I thought, man, they're playing really well. And not to say that I was surprised that you beat them, but I just, I thought, that was a really, really big win for you guys.
It was a big win. It was definitely a big win. And we, you say that, but we were sitting there watching that game right before ours that evening at our place at the SOSA Classic, thinking, my gosh, Chillicothe has gotten better since the first time we played them, and they beat us by 7 the first time at our place. How are we going to adjust, and what adjustments can we even make to keep ourselves in this game? And our kids are just gritty. At the end of the day, they're tough-minded kids. A lot of them are 3-sport athletes. They just, a little bit of it is senior group that knows that at the end of the day, this fun ride, they're getting to play a sport that they love with their buddies, is closing on to an end. This year's getting close to being over, and just found a way. It was, I think Chillicothe had previously won 6 games in a row, and I think we had won 5 games, so both teams were playing decent. But yeah, Chillicothe and Coach Beard, he definitely has them rolling right now, and I think they turned around, and after they played us Friday night, beat a pretty good Hilliard-Davidson team the next night. So they're a good team, and they can beat anybody any given night, in my opinion.
So just kind of the last thing for this week is just how can you guys prepare? Obviously, you would have to get through multiple really talented teams even in the tournament, but how have you guys even looked at the East at all on that? Because Division III is so strange this year, as the 4 teams will play in the district semifinals, if you don't know, and then the winners go on to play teams from the East. Have you guys even been able to glance at that, or is that just going to be all, hey, we gotta do our film work?
He's glanced at it.
I know.
Let's hear it.
I know.
Coach Hoops knows. Yes. I've glanced ahead without saying I want to glance ahead, because obviously you got to take it one game at a time. But definitely have already got some film on a few of those East teams and have looked into them a little bit. But again, you can't take anything for granted. Obviously, first round matchup a week from Tuesday against Hillsboro. Luckily, we get to host it. Again, it's one of those games where, we beat them twice. We know each other very well. We're league opponents. But at the end of the day, it's still who's going to be better for 32 minutes in a one-game tournament game. So, we kind of ran into this issue last year. Last year, the senior group, we talk about it a lot. We beat Waverly in the regular season matchup by 18, and they turned around and got us in the tournament. And more power to them. They were the better team that night for the 32 minutes that we played. And, so these guys know we can't look ahead too far, but definitely coach has glanced and taken some, mental notes, just making sure those scouting reports are ready. But these guys know they just got to be ready for, Hillsboro in the first round, and then hopefully get a chance to play in that second round and against, a very good Chillicothe team who we played twice, or a Sheridan team who, we've got some film on. But definitely got to make sure we are prepared in night one so we can get to, that second round.
Coach, have you finished up your regular season, or do you have games left?
We have not. We actually have 2 games this week, which, as a coach, I'm happy about. Obviously a lot of teams do because of the weather this year, because we had such a tough winter. But last year we were, I want to say we were fortunate enough. Yeah, we had a good record. We ended up getting the 2 seed in Division 4 last year, and we had the bye. And I'm not going to make an excuse, but I just think that time off, there was a large gap there of days where, we were bringing guys into practice and stuff, but it's no matter what you do, you cannot simulate a game. And I've tried to do it. I've tried to do it different ways. I've tried to bring officials in and guys just helping out officiating the practice against, alumni or something, just so we could, get ready. But at the end of the day, it's really hard to simulate the intensity of a high school basketball game, the environment and everything. So we're glad we get to play. We get to go on the road both games this week. So, we're going to be at Vinton County on Tuesday night, and then at a really good Zane Trace team on Thursday night. So they're definitely, both those teams will prepare us for something a little different. And, I'm sure we're going to be ready for some zone in those 2 contests. And, we'll see how it goes. Obviously at the end of the day, it doesn't affect our seed line, but it still affects, how we're going to be playing heading into that game. And we want to end the season on a good note. And these seniors kind of know they've been chasing some history. And my dad, Dan Morrow, has been, prepping them because he has the record books and stuff. And, Caleb Wallace's team a few years back, they won 19 regular season games, and that's the most they've ever had here at Jackson. And these guys know they're at 17-3 and would really like to get to that 19 win mark in the regular season.
Well, it's at least and there are going to be some challenging games as well with taking on a couple of quality programs with some quality coaches as well. So that's a good challenge to get you guys ready for the tournament. And then, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time. We appreciate all your help last week as well with the SOSA Classic. You guys really helped make that easy for us. So that definitely is something we really appreciated.
I just want to tell you, thank you for letting us host that, the first ever SOSA Classic. It was an honor. It was a great event. You guys do a fantastic job. I love talking to you guys. I love to see what you guys do promoting high school sports around the area, and the kids. These kids, that's what it's about. These kids and all the kids in our area that deserve it, and like to see the Facebook posts and the live streams and the interviews that you guys give them the opportunity to do. So it's great for our area, and we appreciate you, and hopefully we'll get to be part of that event at sometime in the future. And thank you for having me on tonight, and it's a big week for the Ironmen. Hopefully we'll come away with some wins, but against, like you said, 2 very quality opponents, some really good basketball programs that are very well coached.
Yep. And I know you guys will be, because, that's kind of what you guys do so well. So Coach, once again, we appreciate you, and we'll look forward to talking to you down the line.
Hey, thanks for having me on. We'll have a good evening.
Thanks, Coach.
You too. Yeah, just one of the really good guys and a really good coach as well.
Yeah, there's a reason his kids and there's teams hang around. He's not going to let them not.
Yes.
There's no choice. That's what you're going to do. And he's got really good senior leadership. He's got really good players with some experience. And I think sometimes when you run into some adversity, or maybe take a loss that you shouldn't have, which I'm sure they feel that way last year's tournament. I feel like they're going to make I'm sure they would have liked to have had a little bit more revenge in Division 4 and instead of moving up to 3. But it is what it is. They obviously can handle their own there, and I think they'll have a nice run.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. So a couple things before we get moving forward. We want to say an extra thank you to Aaron Wickline at Catching Cupcakes, provided us with some Valentine's Day treats that we have in our garage, our fridge over there. Man,
You've already got them in the garage fridge?
Yeah, I've got them in the garage fridge. So you can find Catching
I'm gonna
Cupcakes.
have to clean mine out.
You can find Catching Cupcakes on Facebook. She bakes to order. A lot of different desserts from cupcakes, bundt cakes, chocolate covered strawberries, and more. Once again, Facebook at Catching Cupcakes. We also want to thank Glow Fiber for our internet access here in the Chillicothe Sports Guard studio. And then lastly, we want to make sure we thank Coach Evan Callihan for hanging with us here now on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Thank you for sticking around a little bit later than what we had planned. So we appreciate you on that. And
we can blame Kyle Uhrig for that. Anytime you have Kyle in the studio, you're going to get off. You're going to get thrown off a little. Yeah. I'm sure you know that.
I
Coach.
know that for sure from his time up here at Circleville.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a talker.
Yep, he is. A good one.
Yeah, we probably should have just kept the camera rolling the whole time. That probably would have.
Or had Kyle in last.
Yes, that could have been it too. We wouldn't have got home. So, Coach, you had a long night on Friday, but one of the best games in our area so far this season. A really good road win for you guys at Unioto. Can you kind of, talk us through kind of what happened in case anyone didn't see it?
Yeah, I was just doing a few interviews after the game. Talking with, the radio and, with SOSA and our local newspaper up here. It's probably a fantastic game for fans to watch. As a coach, pretty stressful, but it was a great atmosphere. I mean, a great environment. That's one reason, we love taking our guys down there to play at Unioto. I mean, I think it's I'll put that atmosphere up against anybody in Southeast Ohio when they have big games. They pack that place in there, and it's a cool environment for our kids. It's something that, I try to tell them, Thursday before we went down there, like, hey, you've earned this environment. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people there because, they're good and hopefully we're somewhat good, So, but it was a great environment and just what a game. I mean, it was a game that, wasn't 100% sure, but we were probably fighting for the number one seed. And, like we talked with our kids, if you want to advance in the tournament, you want to play for a district title, or if you make it beyond that, this is what it's going to be like. So, we thought it'd be a good test for us. And, I thought, Unioto's got a really good basketball team and a lot of respect for them and Coach Combs. And, those guys played outstanding. And, we were fortunate we came up on the right side of things. And, I think both coaches would agree that, a few plays go differently in that game, then, I'm probably feeling a little bit different. And Coach Co's probably a little bit happier and, or vice versa. But, it was such a game that so many things happened in that game. I felt like it lasted 4 hours as a coach. But, we were fortunate, proud of our guys for finding a way there down the stretch. And hopefully it's something we can use moving forward. But, you say, long night Friday, we had a heck of a stretch there. We played Fairfield Union the Saturday prior. Then we played London on Monday. Then we played Hamilton Township, who had already beaten us earlier in the season on Wednesday. And then we played Unioto. So Saturday, I was dragging a little bit on Saturday.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you only had the one day to prep for each one of those, and and it's
you better have taken care of Valentine's Day. You better not have been too tired. You make sure that
Valentine's Day. I did. My girlfriend who it's Abby Postage. So her dad does the radio for WKKJ. So I told her all week, just bear with me. She's been great though. She comes from a basketball family. So we went out to eat in Columbus and all was good in the world. So she gets it. She understands sports and she knows that this time of year is pretty busy.
Hey, if you're gonna date somebody, it better be from a sports family like that for them for her to understand. This time of the year, especially with what the weather had been like. So,
yes, for sure.
So, 18-2 on the season. You guys have obviously had a heck of a year. Obviously Cole was really good, which he typically is. But who, besides Cole Nungesser, who else has really stepped up for you guys to jump you out to this start? Is it 13 straight wins as well?
Yeah, it is 13. And, we just try to take it each game in stride. I mean, just that's kind of coach speak, I know, but every game is its own game. And, we've been fortunate. I think our guys have really bought into the defensive side of the basketball. I mean, I think our guys knew early on that the biggest thing that I'm going to ask them is you got to be able to play defense. And if you're a defensive liability out there, it's going to be hard for us to play very much. And our guys really bought into that side of the ball. And I think of, speaking of that Unioto game, it was tough to get stops. I mean, you look at, I think it was fun probably for people to watch, Blake Fitch and Cole, I think two of the best point guards in the area go at it. And then you have the Coy kid from Unioto, who's I know he's a great player, but I think, he's underrated. I mean, I think he's better than, what people even probably say he is. I mean, he went off for 21 for them. And, but, some guys that have stepped up for us. I mean, we look at, one of our seniors, Riley Jenkins. I mean, he's someone who has taken on, not a different role, but a very increased role defensively for us. I mean, last year, he was, scoring the basketball a lot for us. And this year, we've kind of asked him, defensively, he's got to guard the best post player night in and night out. And, he's someone who I think I've talked about before. He's just a gym rat. I mean, he's one that this time of year, I got to almost tell him to get out of there because we have a lot of games coming up and I need him healthy and rested. And, he's just a really hard worker. And Jack Klein, another senior for us. And, I mean, his leadership that he's brought to us this year. And, like I said, I think I mentioned last time I was on with you guys, he made such big strides in the weight room from last winter and, had an excellent year in football, and his defense has come along. And, he's someone too that can do some scoring for us, at any given time, but he's really bought into the defensive end of the floor. Then I think, Glavin Bigham, he's someone who just does a lot of the dirty work for us. And he does, if there's a loose ball, I mean, he'd run through a wall for it if he needed to. And we have another junior, Blaine Fowler. I mean, he's really gained some confidence, here throughout the season, and he's had some big scoring games for us moving forward. And, he's someone who continues to get stronger. I think of some of our guys, off the bench, Ed Kirk, he's someone that on any given night really can get double figures for us if we need him to. And I still think, I mean, that play, his putback, that was a blur to me. I mean, I feel like a controversial basket, I know, but I mean, that was a huge basket in that game where he flew up there, and I don't even know how he got that ball through the rim, honestly. And Ari Travis has played some big minutes for us here of late. He's a senior. Again, he had an outstanding football season, and we kind of asked him to take what you do there and do that on the basketball floor for us. Play that with that fight and toughness, and he's done that great. Kaiser Cassidy off the bench, he played some big minutes for us the other night, and so all those guys have really bought into their roles. I think that's one of the toughest things to do as a coach sometimes is just to get them to understand, like, hey, when it's all said and done, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, no one's going to talk about, man, this person averaged this, and this. It's really going to be about the team. That team did this. That team was able to do this. And so that's what we really try to get to our guys. And they really bought into that. So that's a credit to them.
I think to your point there too, Coach, each one of those guys had some plays that they had to make. And when their number was called, they made them. You already talked about the Kirk basket. I thought the Jenkins hit a big three late in the game.
Yep.
To put you guys up, and I really thought that was not that was going to seal the deal, but I thought, man, that gave him a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
And then I thought Cole's just demeanor, and I know I talked to you about it in the Logan Elm game, but just throughout that whole game, his steadiness and his competitive juices, man, you just can never tell if he's up 10 or he's down 10. He's just always really good. And I'll be honest, I was probably as shocked as anyone when he missed those 2 free throws late. Not to call him out or anything like that, but that did happen. But he, you didn't see it impact his game. He continued to play, he continued to fight. And what happened was in the first overtime, who hits the shot? It's him. Big three, sends it to the second overtime. Gives you guys some momentum, and eventually you guys were able to win the game. I just think it's a credit to that kid's mental makeup, when he's getting everyone's best shot and he's still able to put up the results and the numbers that he does. Just a credit to him. He's just really, really a fun player to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a coach on the floor. I mean, and his, like you said, his demeanor, his poise. You know, we always try to tell our guys, you know, poise in the noise is what we try to tell them. Is like, you know, stay calm and stay the course. And in a 32-minute game, a lot of things are going to happen, and especially a game like Friday. I mean, it felt like. I mean, like I said, I mean, that game felt so long, and there were so many different moments in that game. And, you know, and he's someone, you know, that we told him after he missed those, you know, like, hey, we want you in that situation, and we want you up there taking those shots. And, but like you said, his bounce back was quick. And, you know, he's the one that at the end of the game, you know, it's tough. I mean, you probably understand as a coach, you know, I had a timeout in that moment, but in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if I call timeout, you know, that we're going to have to get the ball in. Coach Combs is probably going to have time. He's such a great coach. He's going to have time to, you know, plan for multiple different things. So it was one of those moments I was like, our best player's got the ball in his hands.
Let it ride.
Let's let him go to work. And if something happens, great. If not, then, you know, I'll wear it. But, you know, after the game, just speaking to him, he doesn't even talk about any of those things. He comes up to me and apologizes for those missed free throws. And I'm like, man, don't worry about that at all.
Because you're going to want it in his hand next time anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And he's so unselfish. I mean, he is. I mean, he had 30 points, I think, in that game. But I mean, he gets so much joy out of involving his teammates, and you know, at practice, you know, the way that he talks to his teammates and carries his teammates, and a lot of times too, he'll come over to me on the side and say, hey, I think this may work. Let's try it. And, you know, when you have a player like that, you know, it's like having that quarterback that has a lot of vision out there. And, you know, he sees things, you know, better than us as coaches at times, because he's the one out there that's dealing with it as a point guard. So just a great all around kid. And, you know, he's someone that has just done so much for our program.
Yeah. And that's one of those, it's almost irreplaceable, even though you've got some really talented kids coming up through the program. Still, it's going to be a big time to replace that because of everything he does. It's not just on the court, it's the off the court, it's the leadership, it's the steadiness, and it's the, hey, you know, he missed the 2 free throws, but as you've said, there's nobody you'd rather have up in that situation. Yeah. And it's not going to happen the same way the next time. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time here with us tonight. We'll have your game on Tuesday, so we'll see you up there. A big one. We'll be streaming at Fairfield Union there at Circleville, so a big one on Tuesday night.
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely. Big one on Tuesday. I know Fairfield Union, great basketball team. They'll come in ready to fight. So it'll be a good one.
Yes, looking forward to it, and looking forward to talking to you a little bit beforehand as well. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time, and we will see you down the line.
Best of luck, Coach.
Sounds good. Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
The game felt long for him, but I don't know, sitting there went pretty quick where I was sitting. I don't know. I mean, you look down and it's like, oh, that was hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, whatever it was. But I don't know. I obviously know what he's talking about. You just don't think it's ever going to end. But as a fan, I wouldn't have minded if it went another one. Right. You know, as a coach, obviously you want to get it over with. But it was a great game, great environment, 2 really good teams, you know, and have an opportunity if things go right to maybe play in the regional tournament, which that would be really neat to see too.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to get into another really good environment down at the Convo as well. So next, joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline is Coach Ben Ackley from Miami Trace. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Good, guys. How are you?
We're doing well. It's a little bit later, but we appreciate you hanging around with us a little bit. So, you know, I know you guys had a busy weekend. Can you talk about it? Because I know you guys had your sophomores played really well on Friday, correct?
Yeah, it's been a crazy week for our kids and our program. We had a big win Tuesday over Chillicothe, off of 18 days of not playing. Our last game before that was at Jackson. And I've been a varsity coach now, it's my 14th year, and I'd never experienced anything like that. Even at the beginning of the season, you don't go 18 days without at least a scrimmage or something. We're very blessed to have a good group of older guys that come in and help us. The Pettiford twins that played at Trace, their older brother Cedric that was an all-district player, Max Nisley that played at Courthouse. It was real good. Skylar McDonald. We've got a lot of guys that come in, and then Trey Robinette and Sky Salyers from last year's group come in. So we had a really competitive group that came in, and that helped us. And we got through Chillicothe. I thought we were tired and sluggish on defense late, but that's to be expected because we're not very deep. And then we had the injury to Adam on Thursday night. And, it was just crazy emotional because we went from getting ready for your rival the next night, and an hour in, he goes down. And I've never seen a group of kids other than the person injured as emotional as what everyone was, because no one knew what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone loves Adam so much, and he's meant so much to the program that it was bad. I mean, we sent everyone home because we weren't going to get anything out of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came back in, something we never do. We got the varsity group together Friday night. And since we were so close, we met at 4:30 at the high school when the girls got done, and we went through a few things. And because everything we do runs through Adam, which it should, and it was totally different. So, we had about 45 minutes to go over some stuff. And Friday night, I just couldn't have been any more proud of our group, our program, just everybody from our parents to kids. It was a great atmosphere, and our kids just really brought it. Yesterday, not as much. We went to Western Brown and didn't play great, but that's to be expected. We didn't have great energy, but we found a way to get out of there with a win. So all in all, it was a pretty good week other than the injury to Adam.
Yeah, attitude reflects leadership, Coach, and obviously you do a great job. Always have, whether it be on the girls or the boys' side, and when things like that happen, all eyes turn to you, and you have whether you think you did or you didn't, you had the answers, and you're going to reflect this back, and deflect it to your kids. But really good job by you being able to handle that. Just with all the teams that you've coached, I've noticed that, and. You guys are tough, and your point guard is only a sophomore and continues to get better and leads that team, and just a really good group to watch.
Yeah, they are a very resilient bunch of kids, and we'd like to think that, we take a lot of pride in being tough and being able to bounce back from things. It was rough. I know that we built, as doing what you're doing and having the success you've had, it takes a village, and everyone's got to rally together when something like that happens. But it helps a whole lot when you have Gage Bowers with the ball in his hand every possession, and you have guys like Ty Huffman and Baron Phipps and Luke Armstrong and guys like that to throw the basketball to, and Julian Baker. So we don't lack talent. And I'm the first one to tell everyone that we've been very fortunate. And I was just impressed with the mental makeup of our kids and how hard they played. Because I think that a lot of people thought that it was going to be a different outcome Friday night. And our kids, they brought it, and I couldn't be any more proud of them.
Well, then that's something that I think you notice kind of with everybody. You don't know how tough you're going to be until you kind of have to be. And I would say, also knowing what kind of leader Adam is as well, I would think that that's what he would want out of his teammates, is to be ready to play, and hey, we're going to go play.
Yeah, well, and this injury happened about 4:15, and we had our big senior team meal at a local restaurant at 6, and Adam and his parents were all there, and nothing skipped a beat. And I know a lot of people that wouldn't have been the case with. And Adam's always been team first kid. Last year he didn't go to the Super Bowl. I think we talked about that, to stay with his teammates. And he's very low key. He's very humble. He doesn't talk about college or his future. You got to pry it out of him for him to even bring it up. He's all in the moment, and my heart breaks for him just because of all he sacrificed. He did get lucky. It's public. He's got a grade 2 sprain of his MCL. He didn't tear anything, which
Okay,
we are
good.
blessed. God truly blessed him there, because when you saw him go down, it was like he got hit with an Uzi. I mean, he went to take a Euro step with his left foot. I mean, he just went straight to the floor. And everyone in the gym knew something wasn't right. And, you know, like I said, no tears. He's actually walking around. He's got a brace on, but he's walking on it. And he's been there supporting his group. And now I just can't shut him up on the bench. He thinks he went from district player of the year to head assistant coach or head coach in 24 hours. So
Let him go,
he told
coach.
me
See
the
how
other
he
night, "You better
does."
get this kid out and get his head straight," or you know. And the thing is, he knows what he's talking about. He isn't no dummy. So he's just taking on a different role for us, and there still is a chance he could come back in the districts. But when you're talking about a kid of his stature and where he's going next, that's not up to me anymore, and it's probably not even up to our trainer. That's up to a lot of people on a higher scale than us. So we'll move forward with what we have, and if he comes back, it's a great bonus, and if not, we like what we have, and we'll keep battling on.
Yeah, Coach, it's you know, disappointing to hear because of, you know, everything, but knowing your group and having that, you know, those young kids, I know you guys are going to make the best out of the situation, and hopefully he's back and gets back to 100% whenever that is, whether that's if we get to see him play basketball again, or if we get to see him, you know, running down the hill after, you know, touching Howard's Rock. That's, you know, whatever is best for him is what we hope for.
No, absolutely. We want him to be healthy and happy, and this is big picture thing, and it's about the rest of his life and what's best for him moving forward. And I think everyone's in agreement with that. I met the family Friday morning, and I was in there when they met with the surgeon, and it was you know, it's a family atmosphere, and we take a lot of pride in that, and just super proud of him and the career he's had. I just feel bad because he's 33 points short of 1,000. I'm not real big on the personal accolades all the time, but you hate to see a kid that sacrificed as much as him to fall a little bit short. But you know, and he's worked hard, but he's got a lot more. If we can get the win tomorrow, I think, as I tell him all the time, there's a lot of 1,000-point scores at Miami Trace that no one knows about, but they'll know about the guy that was responsible for bringing 2 gold balls back to Miami Trace. If we can take care of business tomorrow night, and even if we don't, he's still going to be a part of teams that were 19-1 his last 2 years in the league. So.
Yep, that's 100% correct. Like we've talked about it with other people before. Like sometimes you don't know what certain players did, but you know, stat wise, but you know what their teams did.
Right.
And I mean, that's something that him and his teammates will remember forever as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tell our kids all the time, if you go into Giovanni's in Courthouse, it's got a picture of the state championship team, a baseball team, and that was the year after I graduated. And my brother was actually fortunate enough to be on that team. And I tell all our kids in our first player meeting every year, if you can walk into Giovanni's, there's a guy on that team that played for the Cleveland Indians. There's 2 guys that pitched for Ohio State. They had a guy that went and played Division I football. If you can name those guys, I said, then I'll never have this speech again. I said, but you can't. You don't know who any of them were. I said, the worst guy on that team, if he went to college and married a woman from, let's say, Marietta, they're on my mind because hopefully we get a chance of them in the tournament. You know, let's say they're from Marietta and you bring your wife back and you've got 2 kids, you could tell her that you were the best player on the team and played shortstop. They don't know the difference. What they do know is that you were a state champion because you were part of the best team that's ever played in Fayette County. And people always remember the teams more than they do the individual, unless you're the best of the best, and most of us aren't. So we've been very fortunate to have a lot of really good players, but they've also bought into what's more important, and that's the team. So
And that's, as you said, that is the most important thing, and that's what they'll remember as well. So, Coach, we will be hoping for some more good news for Adam and your team moving forward. And we know you got a big week this week, and best of luck to you this week and moving forward as well.
Well, we appreciate you guys and all you're doing. We were talking about this the other night, how lucky all our kids are in Southern Ohio to get the media coverage they get from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very exciting for all our kids. And I want Coach Hoops to know that he had my vote for the Hall of Fame in the Southeast District tonight. So
Oh, boy.
I'm just putting that out there. He was on the ballot and he got my vote.
I got one.
So you got me a lot more than that, I'll tell you.
Well, I appreciate it.
One vote for me. So
I appreciate it, Coach.
You guys,
I'll see you Friday at the Unioto, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's always a great environment. I watched their game at St. Trace, and I didn't have a dog in the fight, and I was on the edge of my seat for 32 minutes. So we're excited to go over there. It'll be a nice tune-up going into the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but respect for that program. It's been good for a long time. So we appreciate you guys, and I wish you the best this week, and take care. Enjoy this warm weather.
Yes.
So, you too, Coach.
Yeah, much better weather now. So thank you, Coach.
Yep. Take care. Thank you.
Too.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew there was an injury, but I didn't know the extent. But it's, I guess, better to hear the extent is not the extent that I was told earlier today. So,
I mean, when you're that big and something like that happens, it's probably, you think the worst.
Yes.
But the fact that he said he did it making a Euro step, being that big, it's all you need to know about the kid. Like 1,000 points or not, I would have assumed he already had that. You know? But he is such a great passer, and probably if he was a little bit more, probably if he was selfish, he would already have 1,000 points. But that's not the type of player he is. He's a winner. He wants to do whatever's going to help his team, and it sounds like he's still continuing to do that, and it makes me happy to think that Coach Ackley has to face some sort of adversity, and that coming from him being too talkative on the bench, which is great to me.
So, but I will say when you mentioned the if he was more selfish, if he was more selfish, they're probably not as good.
Exactly.
So
I agree.
Yeah. So that's where the wins, and he would trade those wins for those accolades as well. So now joining us, our last coach of the evening, last but not least, on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline is Coach Jeff Miller from Unioto. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
Just wonderful, John. How are you, bud?
Oh, I'm doing well. I mean, we're close to one of the times I said, if you add them together. Well, once
I don't even pay attention. I don't even pay attention to what times you give me because they're never accurate. So,
golly. Well, if we would have told you Kyle Uhrig was in here, you'd know where we are and why we're here.
I got you. Yeah. If you'd told me that, I'd have planned on a 20-minute late call. So
that's where we are.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll take the blame for welcoming him in. So Coach, not a bad week for you guys. You get to break some bums wins record.
I think you were going to say somebody, but I think you just misspoke.
Oh, I did misspoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you got to break Coach Hoops' record for career coaching wins at Unioto, which obviously, when you get to go through two different coaches this year on records that you broke, Coach Driggs, one of the best to ever do it in our area, and I know he won't say it, but Coach Hoops, one of the best to do it in our area as well. But how much fun was that? Because at your home school, where I know you coached with Coach Combs for a long time at Vinton County, but to do it at the school you work at, the school you graduated from, the school you played at, how much does that mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, John, it means a lot. I mean, doing it, a place that means so much to me. It's special, but like you said, even bigger than that is the people that have coached there. Man, there's been some really, really good coaches there. And to see your name, in the same list with those guys is just a huge honor.
Yeah. And then, doing so on a night where Miley does something that she hadn't done, which is kind of crazy of getting a triple double in that game against Hillsborough. what can you say about your team and what they've kind of dealt with? We'll go a little bit more on Miley here in a minute, but I thought that night was the best that like a Kylie Puckett had played for you all year as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the nice thing, I guess one of the things that's been so crazy this year is our numbers aren't quite as good as they have been, in the last 7-8 years. So a kid like Kylie Puckett, man, she's really played well the entire season. But those nights when we play a JV game, based on our numbers, she basically has to play almost 4 quarters of JV, and only gets 2 varsity that night or whatever. But we've had quite a few games this year where we haven't had a JV game, and if you watch those games and go back and look, a kid like Kylie Puckett, she's put up really good numbers in those games. I mean, she's worked herself in. I absolutely have zero doubt, when she goes in a game, that she's going to be able to perform. And a lot of those sophomore kids they've just got a lot of minutes at the JV level, and I don't hesitate one bit to put a lot of those kids in a varsity game. You just with the depth that we have, you don't see a ton of production from them. But again, as a coach, I don't hesitate one bit to put any of them in.
Coach, I'd go one step further. I think that that both Puckett and Jillian Matthey are going to play a major role in your tournament run. Everybody knows about obviously Miley and Maggie and Kiera and Charlotte and those guys and Aiden. But those 2 girls, I feel like, as the season's gone along, man, they not only have they played really well. I mean, there's been a couple shots that I've seen Jillian Matthey hit that were big-time shots and kind of crucial situations against some of those bigger teams that you played. And then John mentioned Kylie Puckett on Monday night. She was outstanding, on both ends of the floor. So I just think, that's a credit to those 2 kids for, sometimes if they do have to play JV, just taking advantage of that moment to now late in the season where obviously once the tournament starts, there are no JV games, so they're available for all 4 quarters, and I think they're going to be, huge factors in your run.
Yeah, I think you say something there, Matt, that's huge, is the fact that, in today's society, sometimes these kids, if they're not on the varsity, they're almost like, I'm not going to do it if I'm not in the rotation on the varsity. And that might be partially why you see such slow numbers, is because of that attitude. But those 2 kids basically are like, no, I mean, I want to play. I want to play 4 quarters JV. You know what I mean? If I'm not playing 4 quarters varsity, I want to play 4 quarters JV so that I'm getting better and better. And like you said, they've really taken advantage of the court time that they've gotten. And like you said, I definitely 100% agree with you that come tournament time, those 2 kids are going to play a big role.
Yeah, and when you have kids that are ready to step up and fill a role when needed, is really what's going to help you benefit the most. And just going to that, on Wednesday night, you guys go down to Piketon, and Charlotte Dennis has a career high in what really was a league championship game. So, can you just talk about what her growth has been for your team as well?
Yeah, again, I mean, when you look at our lineup, obviously. What you're going to get from Miley and Kiera and then Maggie. And, Piketon came out that night with a really good game plan. They were basically trying to take Kiera out of the mix and limit the number of touches she got. Maggie got in foul trouble and was sitting on the bench a lot of the night. Miley, Miley was doing Miley, but then who was going to be that second scorer that night? And Charlotte stepped up. She rebounded the ball really well, had some offensive putbacks. She hit a couple threes. She drove the ball to the basket. I mean, Charlotte's a kid, again, if the ball was in her hands more, I think you'd see bigger numbers. But, she's accepted what that role is for her. And that night the role had to be a little bit different, and she was fine with it.
Don't you think moving forward, obviously we don't want to get into next year yet, but like Charlotte's role next year obviously is going to change. And the fact that you can go back to these type of moments and say, look, Charlotte, you were capable of doing that. We're going to need you to do this for 22 games now. I just think that, these little moments that she's had, obviously they're going to, probably continue to take care away and things like that next year. Charlotte's going to have her hand in a lot of what you guys are going to do next season.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And you know, that's that whole understanding what your role is to help the team that you're currently on.
Right.
You know, gosh, you know, everyone wants to get 20 shots up and average 18 a game or whatever. You know what I mean? But being able to kind of explain what we need from each kid and accepting that role, and you know, that's your role right now. Again, next year it might be a totally different role.
Right.
The following year could be a different role, but
right.
There's no question that I think, you know, obviously next year you're going to see Charlotte Dennis in a different role and be way more of an impact player on both ends.
Yeah, let's face it. It's always nice to be a person that has a role on a really good team and a really good program, and that's what she has right now. She plays a major impact on this team that's really good. You know, she's playing somewhere else. Her role's totally different, but you know, you're playing here. This is your role, but in this role, you're going to win a lot of games, which, you know, winning is fun.
It absolutely.
Yeah, it is maybe, you know, the most fun thing you can do in competing. I've never dunked. I haven't hit a home run, so I didn't do those things. You guys did some cooler things than I did, but
at the end of the day, winning is fun.
Yes, winning is fun. So
yeah, you can throw all that other stuff. If you do all that stuff and you lose, it doesn't matter.
I promise I couldn't dunk, but like I think it'd be cool to do, but I'd rather win.
Yeah. Well, that's why I focused on. That's why I never did those things, because I wanted to win, and that's, you know.
Oh boy.
So, speaking of winning, 56 consecutive league wins. You know, obviously Miley is a huge part of that. Can you just talk about what Maggie's meant to your guys' program? Just overall, what she's brought toughness wise, and kind of just being unselfish as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the key word there, John's unselfish. I mean, if you look at her numbers through her 4-year career, I mean, she started 27 games as a freshman. You know, averaged, I think it was like 7 or 8 points a game, 4 assists a game. You know, just coming in as a freshman, putting up those kind of numbers on a really good team is huge. Then you turn around and this next year, what I felt was the best for our team was moving Maggie to the 6th man. She didn't blink an eye. You know, she didn't get her head down. That's fine. I mean, whatever we need to do. So the following year, she went to the 6th man. I mean, she probably played almost as many minutes as she did, but granted, she wasn't starting. And then, you know, her junior year, she increased her average a little bit. This year, she's increased her average a little bit. So, I mean, just the kid is just a winner. I mean, that's all I can say. She's a winner. She's not a kid who looks for self accolades. You know what I mean? It's way more important for her team to be successful. And I could say probably any team that you put Maggie on is going to have success just because of the way she is.
I agree. And that's going to obviously move way past high school basketball. Anything that she touches is going to be successful, which is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I'm hoping, you know, she's going to Cincinnati to, you know, and like the finance thing. So I'm hoping here about right before retirement, I could just hand her a bunch of money and she can be succcessful with that. You know what I mean? So,
you can at least trust her with what you're going to give her.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's I was kind of hoping you're going to spend to that on the, making some extra money off of how smart she is and her business decisions that I'm sure she'll be able to make moving forward. But 2,000 points, it's something 6 players have done in SVC history, and you know, without, you know, going into anyone else, it's just it feels like Miley has done it with probably the least amount of minutes.
Ease.
Well, I was gonna say ease too.
Yeah, I mean, she's just so smooth.
Yeah, it's just smooth, does it with, you know, less minutes because of the running clock and all of that. But it just feels like she's someone that always wants to get her teammates involved. Like that game on Monday, she has 10 assists. She could have got closer to that 2,000 point mark if she really wanted to, but it felt like she was having a good time finding teammates. What can you tell us about, you know, Miley Smith's game that we don't really know?
I mean, to be honest with you, I still don't think to this day that we've seen the best Miley Smith. I really don't. I mean, like I've watched her since she's been about in third grade. And like you said, she's just a kid who she makes others around her better. And she's got a knack for when she knows when it has to kind of fall on her shoulders, but and she's very capable. If I have to look at her and be like, all right, listen, we haven't scored here in a few, we're going to run this, okay, I got you. I'll go score. I mean, it's kind of like that. But yeah, she's just, I mean, she could, like I said, she could have scored 3,000 points, I think, if that was something that she wanted to do. But again, she's a kid who team first. She wants to make sure everyone else is getting theirs, and I really think she's just a kid who, when she gets to the next level, she's going to flourish. I mean, I could see her being a kid who, it's I don't want to say averaging a triple double, because 5'10", 5'11" in Division I college basketball, you're not going to be down there banging around and stuff. But I mean, she's a kid I could see, being a 12.7 assist kid over at Dayton. I mean, she really is. And if you're one of her teammates, gosh, you love playing with her, because you're gonna get your hands on the ball in great situations to score.
The really cool thing that I like about Miley's game is, like, let's just say you've had to challenge her before, maybe last week even, and she just basically allows you to not have to coach anymore, because you just stand over there with your mouth closed, because she's, let's say, just running off 18 in a row or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's happened. That's happened before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And as a
she is,
go ahead.
She's a kid too. She's a kid that she's got this little bounce. I mean, when she's walking, hopping, if you start to see the little bounce kind of in her step, then she's on a different level that night. I've seen it before, and I'm like, we got the little bounce tonight. Here we go. You know what I mean? We're in for a show. Yeah, I mean, she's a kid that even about a week and a half ago, I challenged her in the middle of the game. I mean, she was kind of lethargic. She wasn't playing really well. I kind of let her know what I thought about it, and I said, this isn't you. This isn't you. You better find something. And just the look I got, and I'm like, yep, that's all needed to be said. And like you said, then she runs off about 12 or 14 points in a row. You know what I mean? And we go from a tight game to opening up a big lead, just simply by a little bit of internal drive that triggered, and she got going.
Yeah, not a lot of kids have that, and if they do, they maybe don't have that talent that she does, but she carries it very well. So, Coach, I know you got a big one this week, no matter who it's going to be against. It's Thursday night,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you actually killed I was doing some film work when you called.
Oh, you're welcome. So we'll blame Christian for that.
Give me a good break.
Hey, Christian.
We'll always blame Kyle.
Yeah, it is. It actually is Kyle's fault. So
yeah, me and my wife were doing some scouting. We were doing some scouting in there, so she's still in there scouting. So you can imagine what I'm going to get when I walk back out in that living room. So.
Get your eraser ready. That's all I know.
I hope she's not writing in pen. That's all I got to say.
Hey, nothing wrong with getting a little help. So, Coach, we appreciate you, and best of luck to you this week. And hopefully everyone gets healthy and ready for a lengthy tournament run.
All right, guys, I appreciate it.
See you Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll see you Tuesday.
Yep, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Thought about asking if he's driving to Marietta tomorrow.
Well, the thing with
at least he has off.
He will, and I'll tell you this is how he bases all of his scouting trips. Like, he was there a chance for him to maybe play Courthouse?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's one of the restaurants over there he likes to go to in Courthouse? He was excited about that. Not as excited for the length of the trip to Marietta, but his options increased on the way. So the scouting trip based on what he's going to get to eat. So
that's all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
positive way to look at it.
Yeah, we kind of did that back in the day a little bit, but
yeah.
But also,
it's one of his. It's really important to him.
But also, if you ever scouted with Matt Hoops, he would bring in paper. He would write down about 3 things, put the paper down, and just watch after that. Then write down a bunch of notes. But it was like, but then that was the Nick Easterday.
Coach Easterday's writing basically a book I'm writing down a few things I want to look for. I know the X and O part of it. Coach E was going to have. I wanted the body language. I wanted how they handled adversity. I wanted how they reacted in a timeout. I wanted all of that stuff personnel wise. So I would take care of that individual stuff. Coach E had the X's and O's, and it worked for a little while.
Yeah, it was pretty good for a little bit. So, yeah, so always had fun on those trips. And like we said with Coach Uhrig earlier, those were always fun trips as well. So, yeah, so that's going to be it. Next week is going to be it. For the
winter?
Yeah, for the winter, because starting the week after, it's pretty much just...
When is March 1st? Is that in 2 weeks from today?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we'll all be in Athens for the whole day?
Yeah.
Starting at like 2?
Yep, 2
what
in Athens. Then every night for that next week is going to be games at the Convo.
Yeah.
And then the following week is going to be Division 6 and Division 7 district finals at the Convo as well. So... Then after that, it'd be like 2 weeks, so maybe, but we'll kind of see. Our Sundays are pretty much booked for the next coming.
And then
weeks.
we'll get into the spring.
Yeah, we'll get
in
into
a couple
spring.
weeks.
Yeah, and if we still have anyone playing basketball at that time, we'll talk basketball still.
Yep.
So
sounds good.
But yeah, so next week will be our final normal show of the winter season, and then we'll kind of see.
I don't know if any of them are ever normal.
No, because I say some dumb stuff.
Next week will be our last regularly scheduled broadcast.
There we go. Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah, keep that in mind. So just a few things. Once again, Catching Cupcakes on Facebook. Check them out. We appreciate them for the Valentine's treats. I'm sure your guys' wives will appreciate that when you get home with them as well. So we thank Glow Fiber for the internet, Chillicothe Sports Card Studio that we're in here. Check out the dugout as always. They're running stuff all the time. I know they had a really cool older person baseball hit tracks tournament today. More clinics are coming up throughout the week as well, so keep a lookout on that. And then we've got streaming games coming up all throughout as well. So we'll see you guys next Sunday. For our producer Christian Spradlin, for Matt Hoops, I'm John Bruce. You've been watching the Hainstall Healthcare Coaches Calling Show. Have a great rest of your week.